Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about narrowing your focus when it comes to Pokemon card investing. Now today's video is going to be one of those videos that you don't actually need to watch. I'm not going to have any graphics up on the screen whatsoever. So by all means, don't switch me off, but put me on in the car while you're going for a drive. Put me on in the headphones while you're going for a walk or at the gym, or I don't know, pop me on the TV while you're doing the dishes or ironing or something in the background. So this is just going to be a conversation. So let's talk Pokemon investing and let's talk narrowing your focus. Before we jump into the topic though, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you want to become a channel member, that's nice and easy. You can join up from the home screen, and once you are a channel member, you can shoot me any investment related emails and I'll get back to you in a timely manner. We have some great chats on there with members. So, jump in. Anyway, the topic at hand, narrowing your focus. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a comment that gets passed around a fair bit, and it's almost like a bit of a play on words or a play on terms. Now, we've all heard of the term niche, like you really want to focus in on your niche. But there's a term I heard not long ago, and it's been around for a while, that the riches are in the niches. And obviously that's not how you pronounce the word niche, but it's a play on word of the word niche, of course. You know, riches are in the niches. So what that means is if you really narrow your focus and become an expert in a particular area, it can become a lot more fruitful. Now, I'll get into the, I suppose, tiny details of that about exactly what I mean. But if we look at it at a broader perspective, you know, when you talk about people doing alt investments, that's such a wide scale. You know, and that really is what Pokemon falls into. It is an alternative investment. And what that means is it's something alternative to the standard real estate, stocks, bonds, etc. It's an alternate to the normal, parking your cash in the bank. That's what the term essentially alt investment means. So if we look at alt investments, that's massive. You know, it encompasses, just to name a few things, you know, things like crypto and collectibles. And then you might drill down a little bit and go, well, let's look at, investing in collectibles. And it's like, well, hold on. That in itself is a massive, massive field, from antique furniture to artwork to stamps to vintage coins to trading cards. And then let's drill down even further and look at just trading cards. And you go, well, okay, I'm going to invest in trading cards. Okay, well, there's Magic the Gathering, there's Yu-Gi-Oh, there's Digimon, there's One Piece, there's Flesh and Blood, there's Pokemon. And then you go, okay, well, let's drill down even further and focus on Pokemon, which is what all this channel is all about. And then you go, hold on, there's actually a fair bit. Are we going to invest in singles? Are we going to invest in sealed? Are we going to invest in graded? Are we going to invest in raw? Are we going to invest in booster boxes, elite trainer boxes, booster packs, specialty collection boxes, tins? There's so much to it. So when you look from that focus and drill down, if you look at it from, okay, I'm just going to invest in collectibles, that's such a broad term. Or I'm just going to invest in trading cards, that's even such a broad term. And even if you use the same brush, I'm just going to invest in the Pokemon trading card game, that's actually a super, super broad brush stroke that you're putting on that. And if you don't narrow it down, and as the title says, you know, riches are in the niches, you really want to hone in and focus on a particular area and become an absolute expert at it. Even in my car dealership, just to give you, I suppose, an example from my job, you know, I work in new car sales, but also at our Toyota dealership, we have a used car lot. Now, Toyota new cars, we have so many different makes and models with so many different specs and so many different options that we split our sales staff into a new car team and a used car team, because, you know, we also have 100 used car lot with like 100 inventory pieces of stock items on the yard. Like, it's so hard to just, you know, focus in and own and be an expert on the 100 used cars that we have in stock, plus be an expert on the new Toyotas. So if we want to do something well, we really need to hone in and, you know, master our skills on a particular area. And the same thing can be said for Pokemon card investing. Okay, I'll say it once again, riches are in the niches. Now, if you look at someone like Rudy, who's, of course, like, I bring him up all the time, but he's the GOAT of Pokemon card investing. And for the longest time, all he has really done is invest in booster boxes. Recently, he's done a massive, massive purchase of elite trainer boxes. I imagine he was reached out to at a very high level from a distribution level and said, hey, look, we've got a bunch of product. Are you looking at taking a lot on? per piece, it's going to work out extremely cost effective for you. And he's probably thought, well, they're never going to be any cheaper than this, so I will take them on. Now, having said that though, he's arguably not an expert in the Pokemon card field, but he's an expert in the niche he's picked up on the Pokemon card field, which is just investing in sealed cases of booster boxes and cracking them open and selling individual booster boxes, or selling the obviously sealed case of booster boxes. So I'll say it once again, riches are in the niches. So when it comes to Pokemon card investing and what you're going to do, my only advice, or I guess the whole premise of this video, is the advice would be around really honing in on a particular niche. Now, from my perspective, I don't focus on singles, and I've done that. I collect singles, and I'm actually going to do a video on all my singles soon, slabs and raw, but I don't invest in singles. I collect singles because I like collecting them. I like the artworks, I like the Pokemon, but I don't expect them, or I don't have a strategy. I don't have a real strong strategy with them. I like to buy them as low as I possibly can, but I don't sit there and contemplate, okay, if I buy this at this time for this price, I'm going to make this amount of gains. That's just collecting for me. I don't really, if they go up in value, great, which look, a lot of them have. My singles collection is worth more than what I paid for it. Is that because I honed in and focused my skills on it? No. That's because I thought I bought at the right time for the right price for a card that I liked. Some of them have gone down in value, most of them have gone up in value. It doesn't really faze me. I'm not honed into that. So that's one part of my collection. The other part of my collection is I collect elite trainer boxes. Will they go up in value? Yes, most likely. Will they go up in value as quick as booster boxes? No. Are they better investment than booster boxes? No. If you'd bought in at Sun and Moon era, that's a different story, or XY era, that's a different story, but I'm talking Sword and Shield onwards. Are they a better investment? No. They've been printed a lot. There's been multiple print waves. It is the newest, it's no longer, the newest kid on the block. It's something bigger than that and more than that now. So they're not going to be super rare items, I suppose. They've been printed way too much. Will they eventually go up in value? Of course they will. My point is, I buy these again because they display really well. I like them almost as just as a sealed collectible. Will they go up in price? Yes, of course they will, like I just said. And that's great. It's part of the portfolio. So my singles and my elite trainer boxes are part of my, I suppose, collection/investment portfolio. But where I've honed in and I've said, right, this is the place where I'm going to do my utmost research and make sure that I can buy the right set at the right price at the right time and make the ultimate gains, or as much profit out of as possible, is just modern booster boxes. That's really where I've honed in. And you might say, well, that's a stupid strategy, or you might say that's the best strategy. In my opinion, personally, I think it's the best strategy. The reasons I think it's the best strategy is a few. First one being, if you're buying a modern booster box at under retail price, on sale, on special, you're buying multiple of them and getting a really good deal, the chances of them ever being cheaper than that are slim to none. So it's really risk adverse. There's such little chance of it ever dropping down in value. Could it go to zero? Maybe, possibly, probably not though. Even if I think they cancel Pokemon cards, I think it's only going to boost up the value of current Pokemon cards, because now there's a finite amount. There's no more sets coming out. So if you want to open Pokemon cards ever again, you've got a finite amount of booster boxes. They're not producing more. So even if the anime stopped and the card printing stopped, I only think it would have positive impacts on the current sealed booster box prices. Anyway, that's one part. I don't think you can lose money on it. The second part is, the second reason I like to invest in modern is there's a lot of hype there. And eventually, someone's modern today will become their nostalgia in the future. And I know that term gets thrown around loosely, or it gets thrown around a lot. And, maybe there's less credibility to it than what people actually say. But in my eyes, there is a fair bit of credibility to it. There's going to be people that grew up in the Sword and Shield era that always wanted to chase the Umbreon VMAX, the Espeon VMAX from Fusion Strike, the Giratina from Lost Origin. They couldn't pull it when they were a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid. One day they're going to be in their early 20s, finally with some disposable income, and they might want to buy a Lost Origin booster box or a Fusion Strike booster box just to relive what they couldn't get when they were 11 or 12 years old. they might well pay $1,000 for it. Why not? We've all done, like I've done that to past boxes that I've wanted to pull cards from. So, I guess it's really risk adverse. It's eventually going to be someone's new nostalgia. And the price point for me is super good. Like I don't want to go out and spend, $10, $20, $50,000 on a Pokemon booster box. Like I'm an extremely risk adverse investor. I like to know that I've really done the sums, really honed in a particular area before I pump a heap of money into it. And for that reason, I've decided to hone in and narrow my focus in on modern sealed booster boxes. You might have a different strategy. You might have narrowed in, honed in on the vintage sealed market or the vintage singles market. And you might think you know that better than 99.99% of the population, even 99% of Pokemon investors. You might feel you've honed into that area so acutely that you know what's going to happen roughly. Yeah, there's going to be ebbs and flows, but because you've done your research so diligently and you're so involved in that segment of the market, the Pokemon investing market, that's your niche. Well, hopefully everyone can take something out of today's video. I suppose to summarize, what I'm suggesting is, don't just brush this massive broad stroke across Pokemon card investing. See if you can narrow down in on something, particularly if you're new to the hobby. Really, really learn your craft in that particular area. And my advice is, if you still got no clue, just invest in modern booster boxes at retail price. You can't go wrong. I'm Michael. This is PokeOz. Catch everyone next time.